live on TV Talk, Amy. Today we have Lawrence Clark-Bey. Is it Bay or B?
Clark-Bey, B-E-Y.
Clark-Bey. All right.
Yeah.
I've been bragging about this for the week now because I think I spam mail you on Instagram.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
you are for the fans of Chicago PD, he appeared on the most iconic scene with Royce on season. You opened the season 8,
Right.
episode 1, as Officer Gaffney, the one who confronted,
Yeah.
pulled over Atwater. That was
Yeah.
exciting,
Yeah.
man. That was exciting, and I think that is a very powerful episode. But before we go to the details of that, Lawrence, we were talking about it earlier. You are originally from Chicago. Is that what you said? Oh, no,
No, no.
you're from Ohio.
From Ohio. Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're from Ohio, and you were telling me that you just signed up with the agency.
Yeah. BMG Talent. I signed with them, I believe, in July,
Uh-huh.
and I have other agents, but Chicago is probably the next huge market, other than
Yes.
Atlanta, New York, LA. And so that was my Chicago PD was my third audition for Chicago show. So the second one was Chicago Med, and
Mm-hmm.
then they get that. But prior to that, I auditioned for Ruthless, one of Tyler Perry's episodes. I'm sorry, one of his shows, and I didn't get that. So here comes Chicago PD. I got the call back, and booked it. So that was great.
Hey,
So
third time
my
is a
third
charm,
try,
right?
third try. Yeah, right, right.
And you opened the.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so, and I don't. I think um it was an episode that everybody, I guess, in general, um were waiting for. You got to remember, we were in pandemic. We were in COVID. uh
yeah, yeah,
Filming was delayed, so when you guys came on the air, everybody was like, oh my god, all right, the drought is over, kind of thing. Everybody was
yeah,
craving for something, and then of course you kick with a, excuse my language, big ass episode.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
That's right.
All right. So, okay, let me take you back. You got the phone call from casting.
Yes.
How many callbacks before they finally said you got the part?
So Monday, I got the phone call, and what
Mm-hmm.
they did was they put me on hold Monday. So that meant it's between myself and someone else.
All
And
right.
so I said, I'm available whenever shooting starts or whenever you need me.
Right.
And I got the call on, no, I'm sorry, Friday. Friday, I got that call.
All right.
That Monday, I got booked, and I had to be in Chicago on Thursday to get a COVID test. So I had to get a COVID test on Thursday. Had to get my fitting on Friday, also a COVID test. Oh, and then Saturday we shot Saturday night, but also that Saturday morning had to get a third COVID test.
Mm-hmm.
So they were pretty serious about that. And I was like, and I knew I was fine, but you never know. And I'm like, okay, this third one, I just hope I don't fail this. And then, what do we do then? So,
Right.
because like you said, that's a pivotal scene, and it had to be shot. And so I'm glad it worked out. And even on set when we shot the scene, they were taking so many precautions. I mean, every time I had the gun in my hand, I had to wipe it down. If
Right.
I touched my flashlight, wipe it down.
Wipe it
The
down.
doorknob on the car, wipe it down. If we were not going through the scene or shooting it, we had our mask off, put the mask in. They had a special made sanitized bag for
Mm-hmm.
each of us. We put our mask in it. So they were very precautious with that.
All right. Did you? I know this is probably gonna be such a stupid question, but um, you know ahead of time that your scene was with Royce and your director is Eric LaSalle?
Right, Eric LaSalle. I did know. Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
because when I got the script, of
Yeah.
course I'm pulling over Atwater. I said, okay, I know
Mm-hmm.
it's him. So I knew I knew who I would be working with, and that that was a pleasure. I mean, he's such a professional. He taught me a lot. He and Eric LaSalle actually, he taught me so much. They let us kind of kind of get used to each other and kind of go off script a little bit,
Right.
um, because one of the scenes where he says, "This is what you really want, black
One,
man." That
right.
wasn't written in the script, so that was Leroyce adding his touch
So, right.
to the scene. So yeah, it was
It's
exciting.
it's giving me goosebumps right now. Now that you're
Yeah,
saying it,
yeah.
all right.
And even in that scene, you can see how close we were,
Right.
to each other. So Eric LaSalle, he said, listen, I know you guys are fine in terms of your COVID test, but do you feel comfortable? Because even off camera, we were still distanced when when he was talking to each other, giving us examples and things to do.
Right.
And he said, well, listen, are you comfortable? Because I need you to really get in his space, in each other's face. I
Right.
said, I'm fine.
Yeah.
We passed our test. So and that really made that scene. You had to have that close contact.
Yeah.
For it to
It's
be
not gonna. It wouldn't have been effective if it wasn't close. And
right,
that's a
right,
fact. That
right.
that
I
that
mean, it's kind of
photography
yeah,
thing. It wouldn't have made any. It wouldn't have made any impact on the scene if
yeah,
it
yeah. And when
wasn't
you're
that show.
yes, get confrontational, you're not this far apart. So so that really lent to the the seriousness of the scene and authenticity. So yeah, it was great.
How is it like getting to the character, preparing for it?
Um, I kind of just watched some TV, different cop shows, and how they would react. Kind of went over my own experiences, with the
Yes.
police.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember in my audition, so when I pulled him over and I'm telling him to get out of the car in my audition, and even in the script, it gives you the notes. So I really blurted that out to him. And so when I did a once over on the set before we shot, and Eric came to me. He said, "You don't need to yell that at him. You've got the gun drawn on him, so you don't need to yell it. You can say that just as calm." And it made more sense. It actually was
Right.
more powerful. I don't need to yell at anyone. I've got my
Mm-hmm.
gun drawn on you. And so just those little, nuggets of
Notes.
information,
Right.
different things, really just made that scene pop. And, I just said, get out of the car. And it's like, okay, yeah.
It was
Go ahead.
powerful. I I I I watched it again yesterday just to get into you know the
Yeah.
the mind frame before talking to you, and had to call my husband, and my husband said like maybe he should come back and he should have a backstory, and he was telling me you got to tell Eric that he has to have a backstory, wherein
It be,
he has
it,
to, because I think too that made the episode, not just the scene but the entirety of the episode, because of also the current situation that we have. I think it made more sense. At the
yeah,
same time
yeah.
too, it's like I don't want to be so political on the thing is like, did it affect you having been on that? I mean, personally, uh have you seen the previous episodes that kind of like uh led Atwater to that scene with you? Did they ask you to do
I
that?
No, they didn't. And I'll be honest, I haven't followed the show as much because I don't
Mm-hmm.
watch a lot of TV. So I did kind of go back and look at those last couple episodes, and it affected me in terms of, because I'm an African American,
Right.
and here I am pulling another brother
Ah,
over. But
right.
the thing is, Ron Gaffney is so lost in this whole culture of this
System.
blue wall, and so I guess it doesn't make a difference if he's black or white. It's the fact that he's just lost. So it would be nice to have Ron Gaffney's character come back, maybe have a Jesus moment and say, you know what, I realize that, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
he finally realizes that, yeah, he needs to change how he thinks and how he polices. There's always been that conversation in probably every inner city
Right.
where, the cops, police should live in the neighborhoods that they work. so you get an idea of the culture and what they're going through. I think it would make a difference, but that probably will never happen. But unless you're policing a suburb where you live in, but
Mhm.
in terms of the inner city, you should live at some, maybe I don't know, a 10, 15-mile radius outside of where you work. Maybe that'll give you a different mindset about, the community that you're policing. But yeah, it's a culture. It made me feel, really, I'm like, man, this is, especially coming from me, another
Right,
black man,
right,
and I'm
right.
pulling him over, you know, um, and actually we're setting him up.
Uh-huh.
We really, he's so far removed from this fraternity, if you will. We go about setting him up to possibly get him fired. Setting
Right.
him up with putting with the dope in his vehicle, but of course he finds it. And so that's where, if you see me kind of take my gun and I put it down, like, wow, okay, he finds it. Nothing I can do
Not,
now. Let me walk away.
correct. Correct. And I
So
think and I think the way they handled the entire scene, or as it was written, it was so well, no, I think the more iconic thing to say is like they could have put a white cop to pull him over, and I
yeah,
don't think I don't think that scene would have made any impact the way they would have put you, because like
right. Yeah, yeah,
and I guess I'm so in touch of the other thing, because I'm, how do you call this, you see everything, and unless you're in that situation or you've been in that situation, it would have mattered for i'm not I'm not dismissing the fact that not everyone can understand the importance or how powerful that sin is, unless you know what is going on. It wouldn't make
yeah,
any impact. But when I remember, like what I told you, you're just talking about it right now, and it gives me goosebumps every time I watch it. I would have to pause it
yeah,
and kind of like make a difference, like how many times in our lifetime just this year has that happened, especially in Chicago, you know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's, I think you delivered, you and Royce delivered, and I think we should bring back Officer Gaffney
Yeah.
to
That'd be
have that,
great. Yeah,
to have the G's, to have the Jesus
Leroy's is a
moment.
Leroy's is a master. I mean, he actually carried me in that a few times. Eric had pulled me over and said, "Listen, I need more from you. I'm just not getting something, and so I can see where Leroyce was trying to kind of, when we were going over it, he was trying to coax me, not just with giving me directives, just in his actions and him going over his lines with it. And so, and again, and that's just, he's just a master at that. And so is Eric LaSalle in terms of directing everything else. So they were great. And but back to your point about if they would have put maybe a white character,
Right.
it would have
Location.
just been deemed as, okay, here's this racist cop, and let's go in. Same thing.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's not the case. And I think, again, I'm sure racism exists even on the force, but there's some white officers who get it, and there's some black officers who don't get it,
Got it. Right.
aka Ron Gaffney.
Gaffney.
And so I'm glad they chose to go that route, because it's not just about race all the time. It's just a culture and a way of thinking and doing things, and it's just wrong. And so I'm glad they chose to write that character as a black man.
How much of this have changed the direction of your acting career? This has made, oh God, that was like, okay, I'm going to the right
Um,
direction. This is what I really want.
well, it was definitely great to get it, and I'm like, okay, because visibility is everything, and so this role allowed me to become more visible in the acting world, if you will. And so we'll just see what happens from there. Yeah, I would love more roles. Like I got a great agent, BMG. So they're out of Chicago, Atlanta, and I think also New York. So let's just see if this this role kind of gets me out there to do more things.
Um, I don't want to, I don't want to dwell on I guess the importance of that scenario, but how does it feel being directed by an African American, being on a scene with an African American on Hollywood in Chicago at this
Yeah.
time on your first game?
Yeah, that was everything. Like I said, I followed Eric LaSalle throughout his acting career, and and some of his directing. So I was nervous at first. I'm like, man, okay, this is Eric LaSalle, but he was just a real dude. He came to me and he said, look, we chose you for a reason. So let's not. I don't want you to go back home thinking, all right, what could I have done
Um,
differently? So let's leave it all here. And so that was great. I mean, he was just very welcoming. Now he's tough in terms of he knows what he knows what he
right.
wants, and he wants to get it out of you. So yeah, he was tough, and but I appreciated that. And Leroy's again pro. Um, that dude really brings it, and he's into his role. So I'm glad I had the opportunity to meet both of them. You know, it was really spectacular. I liked it.
How do you call this? How are you doing after that episode? Did you watch it? Did you watch it with friends? Did you tell your friends about it? How did they react?
Yeah, I watched it with my daughters, and it's so funny. They watched the entire episode, and they're 15. I'm twin girls when they're 15. So when it was over with, they were like, "Okay, that's good, Dad." And walked off, did their own thing. Yeah. But
They were not. Yeah,
my
whatever.
yeah, my mom and dad, they were excited. My father called me and he said he was really mesmerized by my eyes. He said you
It
just really
is. It
the way
is.
you were just staring at him. He said he saw um, power, but he said he also saw. I don't know how he saw that. He said he saw some hurt. I'm like, how'd you get that out of that? So maybe again, people when they see that scene, they feel differently. Maybe some of their own experiences, and so they have different feelings from that scene. Um, but yeah, and it's so funny. And I usually don't do this, so I check YouTube. When that scene,
Right.
and I'm looking at the
Right.
comments. I'm looking at the comments. So I guess I did my job because I was hated. I saw some comments on there like, "Whoa, man!" I'm like, I hope I don't
You
get any
should.
death threats, and nobody
Yeah,
finds out where I live.
I did ask you about if are you on Facebook, are you on Twitter? You should see
Yeah,
Twitter when it first came
yeah,
out and we were pausing it. It goes like, I mean,
yeah,
you know, the fans take it personally. If you're in
yeah,
their
yeah, yeah,
favorite actor's face, trust me, all the F bombs in the world are coming out. But it means
yeah,
if
yeah.
you got hated, you did a pretty good darn job being
Yeah, I guess I did my job then. Right,
right.
right. Yeah, yeah.
That was really
It was
exciting.
funny.
But I guess you just didn't leave a mark because it takes it. What's that like? What 5-10 minutes of a scene, and
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
that to be part of the trailer, for that scene to be part of
That
a
says a
trailer,
lot. Yeah,
yeah, that says a lot of it. And then at the same time, for people to remember it, for me to look for you on Instagram and everybody else, uh, you know, scoring, I mean, searching on IMDb, trying to find who you are. And that says a lot.
wow.
So,
Well, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
but we're right now you're just at home. Uh,
Mhm.
what do we see with Lauren's future in acting?
Hopefully, more roles. I mean, I've got a lot of commercials out there. I'm doing. Just finished a nationwide
No,
commercial. Um, have something in the works coming up. Um, I forget the. It's another commercial. Haven't had any auditions for any roles as of yet. I'm just waiting. I think, and right now, I believe the BMG Talent they're reconstructing their website, so that might
yeah,
have
it
something
should.
to do with. with not getting any auditions coming down the pipeline right now. So maybe they're kind of reconstructing some things. And again, this is January, what, the 11th? So no, today's the 9th. So it's still early
Yeah,
in the
and
year.
one thing I've learned about show business and being in television, not that I am in television, but I just work with a lot of actors and known them, is like, you can never disregard the fact that your role can take you somewhere. I mean, you would
Mhm.
appear in some, like, there are some people that I know, well, they got killed in the first episode. No, there's such a thing as flashbacks, so, or like,
Yeah, yeah.
having to have a writer write something in mind that maybe we should bring them back. And like what you said earlier, and I was saying it again, having a Jesus moment. My husband said maybe he should come back and apologize. That
Yeah,
will take a
yeah, just
scene.
something.
I
Yeah,
said, like,
yeah, yeah.
and I think the fact that people are talking about it and trying to create a scenario. What I know about, what I learned about having a fan base that's very vocal when it comes to social networking is they kind of like feed up, and having the writers having a Twitter page, they would feed up storylines. Sometimes that like gives them an
Wow. Yeah,
idea. So, it helps a lot. And um and I am so 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 very happy that you were able to get that part, and I'm sure you were.
oh
And
yeah, absolutely.
know that your face and that iconic scene, and I did send you the screenshots of it, that
Hmm.
you know um that's going to be there forever. And that
Yeah,
is one
yeah,
of the
yeah,
scene
yeah.
that's gonna, that pivoted Chicago PD on their eighth season.
Season.
Well,
Yeah.
before I let you go, first of all, once again, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I will leave you with the final word. What is your message to your fans now that you have a fan base that doesn't like you?
Fan base. Yeah, I appreciate all the love to my fans. And I'm just looking to do more work, just looking to learn, and grow in this industry and continue to do the best that I can, and just flourish. But I thank you for the opportunity to have me on your show. I appreciate that, really do.
And Lawrence, where they can find you? I know you are on Instagram. Can you invite them to follow you back on Instagram?
Sure, sure. I just have Instagram. I guess I need to get into the whole social world, and my handle is just my name, L Clark-Bey, no hyphen. So that's Clark, B as in boy, E as in Edward, Y at IG.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much, Mr. Lawrence Clark-Bey. This is
Yeah.
such an opportunity. Now, every time I have to see it, I watch it. I watch it gazillion times right now. My daughter said, like, can't you watch something else? It goes like, well, it's the iconic scene sometimes that, carries you over. And I'm sure,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
am so sure this will carry you over. I'll send this feed to Eric so that he'll see it. So, right, maybe we can bring him back. All right. So, but
I hope
thank
so.
you so very much. You have a very safe um, day or week. We are still in COVID. Please
Oh
stay
yeah, yeah.
safe. And let me know, now that we're friends on Instagram, let me know what's going on and we'll talk
I,
about it.
I certainly will. I certainly will. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Lawrence. Stay well.
All right. You
Bye
too.
bye.
Bye bye.